Modifiers in the Division 2 is probably, I don't know, the best thing that has happened in years. These modifiers are making it fun for every build, for every activity, and it even gets better the more modifiers you unlock. Now, thankfully, the developers put all of the modifiers just behind the seasonal journey. So as you unlock the seasonal journey and as those hostile modifiers, get stronger with that frenzied talent, you get stronger with the more mods that you unlock. Now, we all know about the global modifier rogue momentum and how it builds up and makes you stronger no matter what you do, as long as you get those kills. We all know that the active modifiers can help, promote certain playstyles and try to help you here and there. But the passive modifiers are the most important modifiers in the game. They are the best modifiers in the game. And here's why. Here we go. What's going on YouTube? Kamikazevondoom here with another Division 2 video, so sit back, relax, grab that popcorn, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what you think in the comment section below. But today's video is all about passive modifiers, which ones are the best to use right now, and why. Because these modifiers can really make your build shine, no matter what you're using, to be honest. And I'm going to explain that in this video. So, I hope you grab the popcorn because this is going to be a good one. Now, for the entire video, what we're going to do is we're going to sit in the targeting range, and I'm going to show you exactly how these work and why you should equip some of them together and try to avoid others. Now, to unlock these, like I said, it's the seasonal journey, right? So if you go to your seasonal menu and toggle over to journey, these start right here at Journey Mission 3. So Journey Mission 3, you start to unlock passive modifiers, not active modifiers. The passive modifiers are more important. Now, I keep saying that, okay? The reason is if you go to these active modifiers, what do they actually do? Well, the overdrive, all that does is it puts you straight to max momentum, and it gives you some bonuses. However, the cooldown is 150 seconds, and all the momentum you gain afterwards is decreased by 70% until that cooldown's gone. It's not worth it. That's maybe something for like a boss area, and that's maybe if you don't already have, max momentum at that time. It's just a real waste, all right? Vendetta. Vendetta marks certain enemies, and then you take them out. It barely is worth it. I don't like it at all, because it tells you what enemies you have to kill with what certain type, whether it be a primary weapon, a skill, or a pistol, which, okay, but it's still just not worth it. So what I run 100% of the time is tactical supremacy. Now, I'll make a separate video just on this active modifier and why it's the only one you should ever run. But for this video, and because we're focusing in on the passive modifiers, I do have to bring this up because this active modifier grants you a bonus. And all your passive modifiers are increased by 100%. Ooh. Not only that, but headshot kills can extend it. You can actually extend this bonus even further. Now, it says no momentum is gained while it's active, which is fine because you're not going for the momentum at that point. You're just going for the passive modifiers and their bonuses. Not only that, but if you've noticed, I don't know, more than half of the time you're playing, you're going to be near max momentum. So you don't really need to worry about your momentum at all. You just worry about those passive modifiers. That's what makes them so important, is that, yeah, you get momentum for everything. You could throw skills out, you could pulse the enemies, you could grenade them, you could whatever, it doesn't matter. You're going to either keep that momentum or you're going to increase that momentum over time. It's guaranteed. The thing about the passive modifiers is that it makes your build so much better if you know what to look for. So active modifiers, long story short, tactical supremacy is going to be your meta. Going for the actual passive modifiers. So the passive modifiers is what this video is all about. These things are amazing. I will show you in real time their effects, and we can talk about it. But man, they really knocked it out of the park with most of these passive modifiers. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, there are some stinkers in here. There are some what I call filler. Same with the active modifiers. Vendetta has nothing to do with these modifiers at all. It has nothing to do with the rogue momentum. It has nothing to do with this season at all. Vendetta is a filler talent or a filler active modifier. Overdrive and tactical supremacy, these both have direct, reason to be here. They directly impact your global modifier and your passive modifiers. Where Vendetta, it's just a filler. It's like, hey, you could play this way if you want. It's not going to do anything for you. And that's the same with some of these passive modifiers. So what do I mean by that? Well, we know with the shields and we know with the Oxpecker and all of that, shields are pretty prevalent in this season. So the shield passive modifiers actually make sense here. What the main passive modifiers that don't make sense, that I call filler, is the overclocked projector. There's really no reason for this one. The rigged battery, which could go hand in hand with the aggressive drone. It could, but it's just not. That's just a waste of a passive modifier if you're even going to run the drone build. And, we can talk about that as soon as we go to the good passive modifiers in this game. So overclock projector, what does this do? The decoy skill will emit a bright flash. So right off the bat, decoy. So you'd have to run a decoy. A majority of the players out there do not run decoys unless it's a certain specific reason outside of the dark zone. Even in conflict, there's no real reason to use a decoy because in conflict, you're the only person moving around in the game. You're the only enemy, so your decoy is not really going to do anything. So this would only really make sense for some sort of dark zone play or maybe very specific PvE play. And that's just not going to, really cater to anything you're doing during this season with these modifiers. The decoy, it's good for running gun situations, but when in PvE, you could run so many better skills. So long story short, this one's a filler. The other one, rigged battery. Yes, you could use this with aggressive drone. So this might be my hot take, but I think rigged battery is another one of those filler talents. It says that the player's drone either has to be dismantled or destroyed, and then it will shock 2 enemies around them. It sounds cool, but you're wasting a passive modifier when you could run, the drone with say a scanner pulse, which you could use with the microwave coils and Reaper scan, not only making those enemies blacklisted, but then also catching them on fire. It's ridiculously strong. Or if you're going say drone, you could go seeker mines, and then you could use explosive amp and explosive expertise. With aggressive drone, you could also use critical momentum if you're using it with a capacitor build with high crit. That way you can gain more momentum with your crits, but then you would also want to use critical recovery. That could also heal you with your crits. There's so many better choices here. So rigged battery and overclocked projector, I would say stay away from those two. They're really not going to help you during this season. There are better options. Even momentum surge is a good one where you get double skill kills, or the skill kills will give you double the momentum. Perfect. That goes with the drone perfectly. Better so than the rigged battery. and that's only affecting 2 enemies, it's still just not worth it. I think I pled my case. However, let's talk about these other modifiers because these things are legit. Okay. So right off the bat, I'm going to show you in real time what these things do. Now, all of these are blacklisted enemies. Over time, they will become blacklisted enemies, and I am at Journey Tier 7 or Mission 7, so that means that the hostile modifiers are well into effect. And what that means, go over here, it's called Frenzy. So Frenzy means that your hostiles will have faster rate of fire, they are faster moving, and they heal not only armor but health. And that's for anything chapters 5 and onwards. And yeah, so we're going to run into that quite a bit. And I'm going to have to make a video just on the frenzies because a lot of people are wondering, how do you spawn them? What do you look for? So we'll talk about the whole frenzied part of this season. But the modifiers are really, really good this season. Going back to your passive modifiers, aggressive drone. So we'll turn this one on, okay? Now, going to your striker drone, I'm actually going to do a tier 0 just to show you the effect. And we'll turn it off right here. Okay, so with no modifiers active at all, 27.9, okay? Bye-bye. And putting this bad boy on, you can see how awesome this passive modifier is. That just gave me another 12,000 per second, or per bullet. Another 12,000. Now, on top of that, with that just being a tier 0, it does cut down the duration. But hear me out. You can see right here on a tier 0, the duration is still 2 minutes, which is amazing. Now, the cooldown obviously is messed up because we're here in the targeting range, but the duration is already 2 minutes without having any of my tiers or anything activated. So I think that this passive modifier is perfect for those turret drone builds. Perfect. There's going to be some really fun skill builds coming out of this season. I tell you what. Now, next up, I wanted to show you the critical passive modifiers and what they actually look like. So, we should probably turn those off first. So, having just a normal crit build, this one, we'll rank it up a little bit more. Let's see, crit chance right there. So right now, I'm sitting at 55 crit chance, okay? With no armor.
Vital signs critical.
And I'll just show you the effects. And how fast and, slow it can be. All right, so Invulnerable Elite, I'm just shooting them, right? Nothing's happening. Now, just by putting these 2 modifiers on, check this out. You can see the momentum is gaining actually really fast. The armor, it's all right. But look at the momentum. You see the momentum part? That's the part I want to stress here. Okay? Now, yes, this is cool. And yes, that does, seem pretty badass. But let me just give you a little sneak peek. So remember that active modifier called Tactical Supremacy. It doubles the effects. Okay? So let me try to wait this momentum out. We'll at least get down to just 1. And I'll show you how fast this actually kicks into gear. Okay.
Serious trauma detected.
Same thing, 5 meters, Invulnerable Elite. All right, so this is with that active modifier, tactical supremacy. Watch this. Nothing. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Oh. Oh. And then you could see, pretty much got to max armor. Now, the nothing part is, remember that you gain no momentum while it's active. So what I wanted to show you there is that, yes, you were gaining more armor and it was pretty quick, right? You saw when it kicked in, it was pretty fast. But you weren't gaining zero momentum. So if you're going to use this passive modifier, you're not going to be able to use the critical momentum. So then what you would do is you would just use the critical recovery to heal yourself faster, and then that way you could go to explosives, okay? Now here's the next part with the doubled with that passive modifier, and this is why I have to make another video talking about that passive modifier, is these two right here. So explosive amp, your seeker mines deal double the damage to blacklisted enemies, okay? Well, what you can do is you can use a build that looks like this. So the tactical supremacy doubles the effects, okay? I keep telling you that because it's very important here. The Reaper scan. Enemies scanned with your pulse have a 25% chance of receiving a blacklist mark, okay? Explosive amp. Seeker mines deal double damage to blacklisted enemies. Reaper scan will scan them and make them blacklisted, and then your seeker mine deals double the damage towards them. But wait, there's more, because then you have explosive expertise. So your explosive kills will reduce the cooldown of that skill by 30% if you get a double kill. All right? Now, with the tactical supremacy, that would be 60% cooldown. That would be, quadruple the damage? And then that would be 50% of your enemy's scan turn into blacklisted, just by using that passive modifier. So then you would run around with, say, a scanner pulse seeker mine build. Now, another thing you could do is then say, I don't care about the cooldown. Go with microwave coils. Because now with this combination, you would then scan the enemies, make them blacklisted. With microwave coils, you would scan the enemy and burn them. On top of that, with the explosive amp, you would then deal more damage towards those blacklisted enemies. So then with this one, it would be a scanner pulse seeker mine combo. And then as you scan them, you'd throw your seeker mines out, deal more damage towards them. Now how this one works, let me see. I could just go ahead and take all of these guys out like this. Okay. So how this one would work is you'd switch the drone over to a pulse. You could pulse. You see how it just made them blacklisted and it burned them. And then you can see all of these enemies are now blacklisted. So then if I had, say, clusters, right? Then you'd throw clusters out. Okay. Now, the better part of this, let me show you the effects. All right. Let me take off those modifiers and show you the difference here. Because this is why it's so important to have your passive modifiers on top of your global modifier. So right here, just sitting here, right? None of these enemies are blacklisted. I scan them. None of them are blacklisted. I throw seekers on them. let's look at the damage. Around 1.5 million. I saw 1.5 million. And it turned one of them blacklisted. Very cool. All right. 1.5. And then over time, one of them turned blacklisted. Now, turning those back on, right? So you can see there's one right there. And then when I pulse, it just made those two blacklisted. All right. Now check. Let me show you. I'll show you one other thing real quick, because I didn't show you the double effects of it. Okay. All right. Get rid of all those blacklisted. Okay. So here's with the double effects. None of them are blacklisted in front of me. You can see. All right. Watch this. Now what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them are now blacklisted. And let's see. Now I just did, what was that? Was that 8 million? That was ridiculous. I saw some 2 millions in there. Let's see if I can recreate that again. I have to wait on the... There we go. One of them's blacklisted. Okay. That's fine. Wait for the cooldown on the tactical supremacy to come back. Now, 2 of them, and that could turn it into, look at that, 5 of them, and now they're on fire. And then without the tactical supremacy, yeah, I'm seeing 4 millions, 3 millions, and 2. Like, I'm seeing some high numbers. Crazy high numbers. Try that again. So none of them are blacklisted. Scan them. Only made one of them blacklisted that time. Oh, it's because it made all the other ones blacklisted. Nice. Very nice. Okay, so now I can activate it again. All right. None of them activated. Boom. Let's see the numbers. Yeah, that's at 8.3 million. That's crazy. And that's just because of the passive modifiers. And just so you know, I'm using an all red build. That was just with your modifiers together. That's it. Your rogue momentum, you know, is going to gain over time. So you know you're getting all that extra stuff from the rogue momentum, right? The global modifier. So then as soon as you have the right passive modifiers with your favorite active modifier, cough, cough, wink, wink, tactical supremacy, you're going to have some crazy builds with some crazy combinations because these passive modifiers are so damn strong. All right? So going back up here, aggressive drone, right, with the striker drone. The duration does decrease, but you still have a crazy strong duration. It's amazing. And it's worth it. The critical momentum's okay, but it does not work with the tactical supremacy. So for this one, I say, meh, it's all right. It's all right. But I would rather go for the critical recovery. That way you heal yourself with those crits. Going down to the next row, explosive amp and explosive expertise are both really strong together, especially with momentum surge. So kills with skills will double your momentum. Then if you get, multi-kills, you also get skill cooldown, and you get double damage towards those blacklisted enemies. Very strong combination. Very fun, especially with those clusters. But I typically go with just explosive amp. That's my favorite out of the 3, but they are all 3 very strong in their own way. As far as fortified shield, this one I'm going to have to sadly say is not working. All right. So if I put on a shield, any shield, bulwark, cool. It's at 2.9 million health. Okay. with fortified shield. Boop, ba-doop, ba-doop, boop, 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 boop. It is at 2.9 million health. All right. Now, if I go into combat and whip out my shield, I am now at 5.5 million health. All right. So that actually does work. Ruh-roh. I just found that out in real time. Hey, egg on my face. So what you would have to do... Ooh, so hold on. So then... 5.5, right? Wouldn't that make it even stronger? Hold on. Yeah, oh, okay. Yeah, it still doesn't work. Okay, that's what I meant. So the shield health will work with the fortified shield, but the tactical supremacy will not. So that's why this is going to be another one of those meh passive modifiers, because yes, it does work for the shield health itself. It's not going to be a big bonus. So check this out. That was for the bulwark. All right. Now, if I take Crusader. Crusader's at 2.7 million. Then go back over here. And the Crusader is still at 2.7 million. Bulwark, 5.5 million. Crusader, 2.7. Now, when I take off the fortified, boop-a-doop-a-doop. Okay. 2.7 million. Oop, there we go. 2.9 million on the bulwark. There it is. 1.4 million. So you basically are, you're doubling your shield health for your Crusader. This is very strong for the Striker shield. So the Striker shield gives you damage bonus and you have more health. You could very much benefit from this. But it doesn't work with the tactical supremacy. So I guess the way I would go about that, I would probably go fortified shield, do the reactive reinforcement, and do the critical momentum. Do the critical recovery. And then use that probably with overdrive. Overdrive is strong with certain build combinations. But these passive modifiers are very niche with your shields. And what you would do with this combination is that reactive reinforcement would heal your armor as your shield's taking damage. You would obviously be using your shield because you have fortified shield. And then you could pair that up with the critical recovery, which would also heal your armor. Or, if you're nasty, you get rid of critical recovery, go critical momentum. And then, as you are getting those crit hits, you would max out your momentum. So the cool thing about your shield is that as your momentum goes up, your shield will get an overcharge. Now, because we have the critical momentum on, you can see I'm getting my momentum up just by shooting the enemy. And over time, I'll get it maxed out, right? But because we have activate overdrive, you could then... Oh, it's on cooldown right now. Nice. All right. So I'll show you critical momentum. It shows that it's still on a half cooldown. Whenever you change your active modifiers, they automatically go in cooldown. I can get to max faster than the cooldown because of this critical momentum. So watch this about the shield. All right, unstoppable, okay? 6.1 million health on a Crusader shield that is on an all-red build. And that's just because of this passive modifier, critical momentum. Now, earlier I was saying it's meh because of tactical supremacy. However, with the overdrive, this is the way that it would shine, because then you would use it with your shield. You could get your shield to max. Not only that, but the fortified shield would increase your shield, and then you could heal yourself as people are trying to shoot your shield. Okay, so all of this goes together. Very, very strong. But for me personally, I am not a big shield user. And like I said, I have been using Tactical Supremacy more than Overdrive. So I've been staying away from this combination. But I will admit it is super, super strong. But what I wanted to do is just show you that combination. Now, getting back to Tactical Supremacy and the rest of these passive modifiers. Now that we have figured out, the first two rows, let's move on here. So microwave coils. Microwave coils is my favorite passive modifier. I have already made like 2 or 3 videos just on this passive modifier because all you do is scan the enemy and it burns them. So here's the part that a lot of people forget. Let's see, let's just say the Dark Winter, okay? Let me change my okay, perfect. Vector. Okay. So with the microwave coil, you don't even need a scanner pulse. Check this out. All you need is the linked laser pointer. Just using the linked laser pointer can burn them. Check it. Oh, nope. Pulse them. There you go. Oh, get in front of them. Why is it not pulsing them? Interesting. Hey, you're making me look bad. Is it because they're out of range? What is this? Oh, there we go. It's because they were like already pulsed, I guess. That was weird. But then you can pulse them just by using your linked laser pointer. And that would burn them just by, just by looking at them. It's kind of weird. But let me see. There is a timer with the burn, though. You can't just keep scanning them. If you already scanned them, you can't double stamp a triple stamp. Let's see. Oh, there we go. They're burning. Not bad. But that's just without the scanner pulse. But what I do is I'll typically use it with a scanner pulse and like a status effects build and like a vial mask and all this, blase blah. And it is ridiculously fun. I mean, this build right here, cough, cough, wink, wink, scanner pulse, just saying. All right. Now moving on to the next one, because I've talked about microwave coils so many times. You use a scanner pulse, it makes them burn. It's amazing. All right, moving on. Momentum surge. Kills with skills will double your momentum. This is a lot of fun. This one, in my opinion, is better than the critical momentum. Well, you guessed it, because you can use it with the tactical supremacy, where kills will quadruple your momentum gain, right? Right? No, that's not how it works. Because remember that tactical supremacy, you gain no momentum while it's active. So this is sadly another one of those womp that you would use outside of tactical supremacy. Now, overclocked projector, not my favorite, like I've already said. Rigged battery, both of those I say are fillers. And then we go to the reactive reinforcement with the shield and Reaper scan. Now, the reactive reinforcement we've already talked about and I've already showed with the overdrive passive modifier, but the Reaper scan is very important. So this one, a lot of people forget. During your journey, you have a lot of blacklisted enemies you have to take out, right? So let's see here. We have right here 350 blacklisted hostiles. For tier 5, we have 200 blacklisted hostiles. For tier 4, we have 100 blacklisted hostiles. You see what I'm getting at here? All right. This passive modifier is super important because all you do is use your scanner pulse and it will convert them. It will change them into a blacklisted enemy. This also works in the targeting range like I've already shown you. So what you could do is use that with the microwave coils, with your tactical supremacy, and double it. That does work. Not only that, but then you would use it with your explosive amp, like I showed you, and get that extra damage. Or, if you're super nasty, you could use it with a freaking striker drone and double it with that tactical supremacy. So check out the striker drone, okay? Now this is going to be without any sort of momentum gains, all right? So remember, I think we started out at like 27, right? Check this out. 51K. 51K. With the tactical supremacy. That's ridiculous. That's a tier 0. That's a tier 0. Like, that's an all red build with no momentum. So if I were to actually get my momentum up, hold on, check this out. Let's see here. There we go. So I think 51K was our, and I have a while for the cooldown, so we're almost there. Because remember, you just get this just by killing enemies. So all red builds are actually like kind of the best thing out now. Because now you have overcharge. Okay. So as soon as I get my tactical supremacy up, there you go. Activate. 110. You guys see this? Come on, man. Come on, man. Like, these passive modifiers are ridiculously strong. Please, please, make sure you have the right ones activated and use them this season. This will make your build ridiculously strong. The reason why I haven't been releasing build video after build video after build video since this season came out is because these modifiers play a bigger role in our builds than ever. They are very, very important. Super important. And that's why I wanted to make this video hyper-focusing on those passive modifiers, the combinations you should look for and why, and I even threw some curveballs in there with the shield and whatnot. So I hope you enjoyed. Some of them work with the active modifiers, some of them don't, so, you know, there's that. But overall, these modifiers are so damn good. It will make your playstyle even better, and a lot of these builds are now legendary caliber, where you can use a majority of your builds and just go into legendary content now. So you will be seeing a lot more legendary builds coming from me as well, using these modifiers because of how strong they are. But if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. I know there's a lot of information. It's like fire hose, of information. So if you do have any questions, just let me know. We can try to help everyone explain and get on the same page. But these modifiers are ridiculously strong. Have fun, and I'll see you in the next one, all right? Take care of yourself. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace out.